gang. Get on in here. Drop where you guys are from in the comments. Achieve. Thank you, boo. Thank you, boo. Heart to you too. You know, we never really have a show that flows effortlessly. Hope I said that right. Unless your energy is on. It never flows unless you're on. It's that Gemini twin energy that you bring. So thank you for being on. And I hope you enjoy the show tonight. I'm super, super excited. I kind of had a switcheroo. I'm not going to lie. Because at the end of last week's show, we kind of mentioned we were going to talk about blood spells. But that's not what I have on the agenda. So I hope Ryan is okay with the switcheroo. Simply because I forgot I mentioned we were going to talk about blood spells. So, well, blood spells was supposed to be the topic tonight. But I thought this was very pathetic. So, we're going to talk.
Excuse me.
Hey, y'all. Drop what you guys are from in the comments. Just said this to someone. You did? Okay. Well, sis, maybe this is a video for you. I almost said maybe this is a reading for you. This is the video for you. You definitely have to watch this because we're going to talk about why certain people may be addicted to chaos. So, and then next week we're going to talk about blood spells. So, let's see if Brian is in the room. Okay, he is. The freaking Shay. Welcome. Hey.
Hey.
Can you see me? Are you eating?
I am. I had a cookie, but I cannot see you.
You cannot see me? Okay. You want to start it again or just keep it going? It's up to you.
I think we can keep it going. I have my other camera over here, my other phone, so I can see it this way. So if I need to see a facial cue or something.
Okay. That works. Well, thank you for being able to join me. And thank you for everyone who's in the chat now. We appreciate, love, and value you. And we're going to go ahead and get started. So if it's your first time here, welcome. If not, welcome back. I'm actually Anya, an intuitive alchemist and energy reader. And I'm just here to help y'all heal. And we're healing with humor because laughter is always the best medicine. Talk to these people, B.
I am B. I am Magoon. I am tarot reader, spiritualist, advisor, all of the above, whatever spirit needs me to be, truly. And that is why we created this platform, is so that we could be a guide to help you heal in some form or fashion. Whether that's through laughter, whether that's through serious conversations, whether that's we might need to pop those hands a little bit and scold you a little bit. But we want to make sure that you are your best selves. We want to make sure that spirit works through us to get you to where you need to be in life, the best part in life.
Absolutely. And I was just telling Soraya prior to you coming on that I know we had spoke about doing blood spells on episode 63, but I completely forgot that was on the schedule. Mind you, I write everything down just so y'all know. I have all of our episodes written down, so we know exactly what we spoke about and what we haven't spoke about. Everything is written down, okay? I'm in my Virgo energy. Even though I don't have Virgo in my chart. But I digress. So I say all of that to say that even though that was on the menu, Spirit wanted me to speak about something else. So we will speak on blood spells next week. That was something that just kind of happened out of the blue. I didn't even look at the schedule. I just wanted to speak on chaos and confusion. And it's possible that a lot of you guys, especially during this retrograde or coming out of all of these different transits and astrological aspects that are going on, you might be feeling a lot of confusion. You might be surrounded by chaos, and it's energetic. We are We are in a intergalactic universe where we can feel the energy from the solar system, okay? Which is the reason why when you get a birth chart reading, we have to look at where the stars were. It's like a snapshot of the sky of where the stars were when you were born. And this is how we're able to complete an accurate analysis of your birth chart and your relationship compatibility reading, because we look at the stars, at the solar system, okay? This is how we get our information. It's straight from source, okay? In the ethers, okay? So I say all of that to say this is the reason why I wanted to speak on chaos and confusion. Now, this is not going to be connected to what's going on astrologically. However, be that as it may, we will get into how each sign, I'll go through the 12 zodiac signs, and I'll give a piece of advice for each sign on how they can rectify being addicted to chaos. If you guys feel like you are falling for chaos, you are falling in the trap, you are falling down the rabbit hole of chaos, okay? Because sometimes chaos can be intriguing, sometimes chaos can be addicting, it can be fun, but it's not going to lead you to anywhere in the long run, okay? It's just going to spin you. And you're going to be headed nowhere fast, chasing chaos, okay? So, if you want me to go right into the conversation, since I'm yapping and bumping my gums already, or do you want to pull some cards? It's totally up to you, boo. You let me know.
We can start off with the conversation today.
Okay. Yep. All right. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive in. So, addicted to chaos. Why do we fall for broken partners? I know this is a tough but crucial subject, guys, to discuss, but if you ever found yourself drawn to someone who just doesn't seem to have it together, or you've strayed in a relationship, or you've stayed in a relationship or strayed to another relationship, thank you, Spirit. If you've stayed or strayed to a relationship that felt like a roller coaster of highs and lows, you're not alone. You're not by yourself, okay? But we have to understand the allure of chaos. Why are we addicted to it? Why is it intriguing to us? Why do we feel like chaos is like the cookie that we just want to bite and just like chomp up, all right? So why do we love chaos so much? We're going to get into it, all right? So first, let's acknowledge something real. There's something magnetic about chaos. Believe it or not, chaos is magnetic, okay? It gives off a vibration of, like, I wonder why that person is so unstable. What's going on? And then that switch goes off in your head. Well, you know, I'm a healer. If you're a healer, it was just for you. The switch goes off in your head. It's like, okay, well, I'm a healer, so I can heal this person. You know, they're unstable. They're all over the place. Maybe I can do something with that. That's usually what happens to the healers. The healers usually attract the people that are unstable, okay? So being like attracted to someone who is like unpredictable and who is full of drama, it could be passionate, and that could ignite our deepest emotions. So why are we often attracted to chaos? And why do we allow people to bring that chaos and confusion into our lives? Well, on a deeper level, chaos can mirror the unresolved trauma or emotional chaos within us, right? Because sometimes like attracts like. I know people say opposites attract, but sometimes we attract things that we haven't necessarily processed within ourselves, because these things are in our subconscious mind. You guys will always hear me talk about subconscious things in our subconscious memory bank, because everything that has happened to you is stored in your subconscious memory bank. Just like everything that water has gone through, water stores everything, every thought, every historical fact, everything. So your subconscious mind are things that you're not necessarily conscious of. It's things that are held in the back of your memory bank, and they just sometimes seem to pop up. Maybe they pop up when you're triggered. Usually they come out in relationships, because that's when you really get to see who you are when you're in a relationship. That person usually mirrors back to you who you are, and vice versa. So sometimes chaos can mirror the unresolved trauma that we haven't healed ourselves, like our own wounds, right? So we might find comfort in the chaos of others, like thinking it's a way to feel something, like it's intense. Even if it's intense, like it's like something that we're attracted to, but that's unhealthy. And I think a lot of people think that like intensity is like passion, which is like attraction, which is like love. Like I think that like a lot of times those words, those terms, those phrases, they overlap, and a lot of people mistake intensity and passion sometimes for love and stability. It could happen to the best of us. You're not alone, all right? Um, like I was talking about earlier, the fixer complex, okay? Maybe you've heard it before. I know I've experienced it plenty of times where we feel like we're meant to save someone. Like, let me put on my cape and save them. I can help you, okay? I can lead you to the promised land. Um, but here's the thing, no one is broken beyond repair. And you can't heal someone who isn't ready to heal themselves. Remember, what we do is we give you the tools that you need to heal yourself. We're not here to heal you, okay? We're here to help you heal yourself. And I do that with humor because laughter, I feel like, is the best medicine. Um, and so sometimes we're more invested in someone else's journey than our own, like believing that if we can fix them, we're worthy of love. And this is where tarot comes in, honestly, like the Nine of Swords. This will show up, when we're stuck in a cycle of guilt and responsibility and we need to break free. So this is why, tarot kind of goes hand in hand with every aspect of your life. Also, another way that you can find that you're like addicted to like chaos is if you love the thrill of drama. Like if you have a pattern of being addicted to drama, just look at your relationships in the past, like the past 2 or 3 relationships. Were there really high highs and extreme lows? And that'll let you know if you're addicted to drama, because drama can feel like a high. Like drama can feel like your adrenaline is just rushing. And that can be mistaken for, oh, this is love. This is right. This is who I need to be with, because they ignite like this spark in me that I've never had happen. And people can confuse that with love, right? But relationships that are constantly up and down are emotionally intense, and that intensity can feel like passion, right? But it's really just drama, okay? And the Tower card can represent this. Like you're thinking that things are stable, but people are literally falling out the window. Like your foundation is crumbling. So you're thinking that it's leading somewhere, and it's basically leading you off a ledge, and you finna fall. So be very careful with the thrill of drama, like the high highs, because when those highs are high, remember, the higher you go up, the further you're gonna fall. Okay, and that's the further you fall from the sky, and that's gonna hurt the worst. Okay, so just be very conscientious of being addicted to relationships where it just takes you so high you don't even see the ground no more. That's how high up you are. Because when you fall, baby, you might not make it back up again. Okay, so be conscientious of that. And then repeating patterns and karmic lessons. Okay, sometimes the chaos we attract isn't just coincidence, it's a part of our karmic lesson. And you guys are always hear me speak about this not being your first rodeo. This is not your first time here. You're not new to this. You're true to this. Okay, you are returning to complete a cycle that wasn't completed in previous lifetimes. It's the reason why you have deja vu, because you've already been here before. This is where deja vu comes from. Okay, you've already walked these streets. You already know these people. They're just in different bodies. This avatar, this vehicle that we're possessing now, is only temporary. Okay, once we transcend, we go to the next assignment. But a lot of you guys are in families that you've already been born into. You are friends with people that you've already been friends with. You're dating people that you've already been with. So it's just like you're repeating cycles until the cycle is complete. So a lot of you guys are in relationships, in connections, situations that wasn't rectified in previous lifetimes, and you got to rectify it now. Okay. So you can start by identifying your emotional triggers and understanding where they come from and releasing the need to like want to fix or change someone. All right. Because someone is going to change when they're ready to change, not when you want them to change. We each have our own individual soul journey, and your alarm clock is not set at the same time mine is set. Okay. They're set at different times. Maybe I want to wake up this year. Maybe you want to wake up this century. Everybody's alarm clock is set different. A lot of people woke up in the age of Aquarius, but some people woke up in the Piscean age. It just depends on when you were supposed to wake up. And then a lot of people have to stay asleep. Why? Because we need to know what it's like to be asleep, to know that we never want to go back to being asleep. Okay, it has to be balanced, that Libra energy. And last but certainly not least, just make sure that you guys are choosing peace over drama. Okay, I know it may feel boring. A lot of people don't like just the mundane life, just being a typical mere mortal walking these streets. But listen, I'll take peace over problems any day. Any day. I do not want to be in a perpetual cycle of drama. It's leading nowhere. That's just a waste of time. And the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting a different result. So yes, I will choose peace over pain any day. And like I said, I wanted to just do a quick rundown on some advice for each zodiac sign, things you guys can take with you for the rest of your life when it comes to you being either attracted to chaos, or maybe it's hard for you to break free from it. Okay, so we'll start with Aries, the first sign of the zodiac. Stop chasing after potential, Aries. You deserve someone who matches your drive and energy now, not someday. Okay, Taurus, your loyalty is unmatched. You're stable. Taurus is the most stable sign of all the zodiac signs, all right? So loyalty doesn't mean tolerating disrespect and chaos. Protect your peace, okay? Gemini, your curiosity draws you in, but don't mistake inconsistency for excitement, all right? Real connection is stable and deep, all right? Cancer, your nurturing nature can lead to attracting broken partners. Remember, you are not a rehab center for people's problems, all right? Leo, you love the spotlight, okay? We know that. We know you love the spotlight, honey, all right? But don't mistake drama for passion. A healthy love still excites and inspires, all right? Virgo, you can't fix everyone. And we know Virgos aren't the fixers, okay? They love to build stuff from the ground up. Focus on self-improvement, not turning projects into partners, all right? Libra, you crave harmony, but don't settle for surface level peace at the cost of your inner balance. Scorpio, intensity is your thing. We know Scorpios, all right? You literally are phoenix rising from the ashes, okay? So intensity is like, it's okay for you. Like intensity don't want to rumble with you, okay? You are the definition of being intense, okay? You embody the word intensity, all right? So intensity is nothing for you, all right? But remember, passion doesn't mean pain. You deserve loyalty, not toxicity, all right? Sagittarius, you're a free spirit who loves the thrill of the chase, all right? And to be chased. But make sure you're not chasing someone or running away from someone, or running away from healing, okay? So you love to, shake and move in these streets, but make sure you're not shaking and moving off course and running away from healing, all right? Capricorn, you respect ambition, right? Become a crutch for someone who refuses to grow. Aquarius, you attract the misunderstood, right? You're unconventional. So you're going to attract people that are misunderstood and who misunderstand you. But don't become so detached, you forget your own emotional needs. And last but certainly not least, my Pisces, your empathy knows no bounds. But don't drown yourself trying to save someone else. You deserve to be loved, not drained, okay? And if you're constantly feeling drained or unappreciated, it's time to ask yourself, are you in love with potential or with reality, okay? Because potential and reality are on two different spectrums, okay? It's people that are potentially that person, and it's a person that is definitely not that person or is that person, okay? But that potential is like that gray area. And sometimes with love, you really can't be gray. You have to be either black or white, unfortunately, all right?
Mhm.
So protect your energy and let love elevate you, not exhaust you. Love is sacred. Okay, love is patient, love is kind. And now I hand over the torch to my bestie, okay? What it do, Shorty?
That was first of all,
Read me
I
right, right. Read me right, right.
first of all, I wanted to say that was good. I enjoyed every bit of what you were saying. Um and especially when I got to the cancer part. Because for anybody that's a cancer out there, I'm a cancer sun sign. And that is one of the things that we tend to do, and that's because we have that motherly instinct. We just want to be mother hen to all of them, whether you're male or female. We want to be mother hen. We want to take care of everybody, and ironically, with us taking care of everybody, and I say that loosely, gives us their you know what to kiss. Um, and so and it gets to us in that good deep space, right? And so even before um Ashley got to the each zodiac sign, I asked spirit, well, what is it? Why do we do this? Like, generally, why are we attracted to such negative energy? Interestingly enough, um, Spirit had already told me to get my dark cards, so I got those. And interestingly enough, Parasite came out, and I'm gonna show it to you. And Parasite, it's a parasite. That's why we are addicted to chaos and things. It's those parasites that we have been that we are accustomed to, that we've grown to, as Ashley stated, those untapped, unchecked feelings that we've had, those things that we refuse or I'm not even going to say refuse, but those things that we have not dealt with. And I say I'm not going to say refuse because sometimes people honestly do not know that they are carrying something that they need to get rid of. They honestly don't. And it takes someone coming from the outside to pinpoint it. Another ironic thing is I did the spiritual progress report earlier today, and I'm just going to encourage you all to go watch it. It's not long at all, but I will say that something similar came out in that reading about helping each other. And I will say this snippet. The thing that came out is that when you're in a good relationship, you can be healed, right? And say that both of you have gone through some traumas and you finally healed, but you might have a little residue that you don't see. But when you come into contact with that person that is truly for you, that person is going to love you. And I'm going to say this with grace, they're going to love the hell out of you. Meaning that part that you didn't see, the part that you didn't quite grasp is a problem. That person's going to come in and say, oh, you know what? I love her. She just got this one little quirk, but you know what? I'm just going to love the hell out of that quirk until she stops. And that's what happens. That's when you get to what I laugh when I see couples fighting because I'm like, damn, they are really in love. And some people will look at me like, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, y'all don't even see what I see. Like, that's not just no regular argument. That's a I love you argument. And I want to put my hands on you, but I know I can't, but I love the hell out of you. Look. And I've seen that with so many couples, and I just chuckle and laugh. And sometimes whenever they fight, I just laugh and they're looking at me like, why are you laughing? Like, and I'm like, because y'all don't even see it. I could see how much love y'all have for each other just from the way that you're fighting. And the way that they're fighting, they're not tearing each other down. It's just legit an argument. And it's just like, you only doing that because you saw this last half of what you think that you saw, and I've been watching this person the entire time, and it's like watching a TV show. Um, but that love always comes stronger than that fight, right? And next thing you know, the couple are making up, and they back to being lovey-dovey and things like that. And that's how relationships are to work. Nobody says that a perfect relationship will not be without argument. So let me first start there. You're going
Right.
to have some toughs, right? You may have some trials that you have to go through together. But the thing is, are you strong enough to encourage that person while you two are going through? That's a you thing. That is a personal thing. You have to make sure that you are checked right. You have to make sure that you understand. I'm not even going to call them your red flags, but you need to understand your weak moments so that you can say, so that you could openly communicate that with your partner. Hey, I am going through something right now. I may pull away for a few days. I'm still here. Just let me go through this and I will get through with it. Like, I'm not through with you. I just need to handle this at this moment. And even during the talking, even after you have had your moment and then you go talk and like say your partner says, hey babe, let's talk about that. Why what is something that I could do to help encourage you at that moment when you're feeling that way? Like, what are some things that I need to do? And having that understanding opens so much
It
love,
does.
extra love, so much grace within a relationship. And that is what people have to understand, because these parasites keep you from that. They keep you from having those conversations. They keep you locked up in your mind. They keep your mouth shut. And what we say, what's the famous saying? A closed mouth doesn't get fed. And so you sitting up there brewing and brewing, have your mouth closed, got having all kind of thoughts, but you've never once talked to your person, and it regurgitates these things. And I gotta say it, there are dark spirits that do not like to see love. If they can
Mm-hmm.
create chaos, if they can create dysfunction, that's how they thrive. That's why it's so important to have and maintain a positive mindset. Like, I remember that, like, I have gotten the nickname Smiley so many times from me smiling as a kid and a young adult. And then I had actually had people to say, why are you smiling? Every time I see you, you smile. Like, you can't, there's no reason why people, you should be that happy all the time. And I was just like,
Like,
what?
why the hell not?
Right. I'm like, the world is already going through. Why do I want to go through? Like, baby, you gonna see the smile. And if you don't see the smile, then that's when you know that something is really wrong with me. Right. But it's that we're so used to going dark because it's so easy to go dark. And that's what I don't think a lot of people understand. It's so easy to give up. It's so easy for me to cut off this light and just be, than to sit in this light and allow y'all to see everything. And even there have been times when, even on this platform, I have been going through things, and Ashley would know, and a few others would know. And I'll come up here and I'm making jokes and I'm, hey, throwing the punches right back to you. And the thing is, that's because I don't want to project that type of energy to you all, because those are transferable things. Energy is very much transferable. So whenever you are in that dark space and you're redoing this dark thing over and over and over again, anybody that comes around you, you implanting a dark seed into that person. And that person
Right.
would have been having a good day, and then they like all of a sudden like, I don't know, like, man, like, I'm not feeling it anymore. Like, I was gonna go to the park, I was gonna get my hair done, and yeah, no, I'm just not even feeling any of that. No, I just want to stay home. And they don't even know why they feeling that way. And it's because they come across somebody planting dark seeds. And then we also have to understand that the devil also has his way of getting people to do his bidding.
Mm-hmm.
And his bidding is to knock us off track. His bidding is to not keep us focused, to knock us off of our focal point, especially if you have a goal, and especially
Mm-hmm.
if your goals are connected to the person that you're supposed to be with. Remember, when you're in a relationship, it's not just a partnership between you and this person, it's every aspect of your life is now intertwined with this person. I wish I could twist my fingers the way I'm seeing it, but it's like, just think of how of an ivy vine, ironically, and you see why I said that, wraps itself around a pole but continues to grow upward,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's how we are supposed to be, right? We're supposed to grow upward with each other. However, when we have those dark moments, we're not growing. We just intertwined, and now we got a little bit of happiness, but then we got doubt creeping in, and then we're trying to figure out what happens, and next thing you know, we're complacent and trying to figure out how did we get complacent. And it's because these little seeds were dropped. It's because we've come across people that drain us from our energy and we never replenish it, because we feel like we got to give. We feel like, oh, well, I'm used to this. So because I'm used to this, I already know what I'm getting myself into, right? Um, and it's like, you can off bet this person gonna come in, then go to the refrigerator, they're gonna take out their beer, they're gonna drink their beer, and they're gonna watch football for the next 6 hours. Then they're gonna want something to eat. They're gonna go to the fridge again, pull out a hot pocket, put it in the microwave, eat it, leave the dishes on the table, fall asleep on the couch. And then that's exactly what that person does. And you saw how draining that was to regurgitate all of that. And it's because those situations are draining. It is not until you have a conversation with that person, hey, let's talk, let's have a sit down meal. Instead of you grabbing a beer, let's stay away from that today. Let's talk. What's going on? How was your day? When we can pinpoint and snipe out those seeds at the root, as my grandma used to say, and take those seeds out, then baby, that is how you start the healing process with each other. That is how you continue to grow. That's how we have amazing relationships that continue on, that nurture us. So I wanted to say that before I get more into the cards. So with the parasite card, and I'm gonna, yeah, and it says the moon phase is the waxing crescent. The stage is depression. So how many times have you called that number in your little black book because you was depressed and you were like, it's time. I got an itch and I need to scratch it. Let me go to my book. It's because you're depressed. Because when you're depressed, you're not thinking clearly. Boop, should have had a V8, right?
Oh, no, you didn't.
When and it says when the only answer to lack of self efficiency is to cling to another one. So here we are again in this depressive state, and we're clinging to someone else that doesn't mean us any good. Why? Because it's like, as long as I'm clinging on to someone or something, I can feel whole. But that is only giving you the illusion of being whole. And that is why they say um, you should not pull in someone to make you happy. Nobody on this earth can make you happy but yourself. And you have to choose happiness. What they can do, the only thing that another person can do for you is to uphold you in the stance that you wish to be held in. And so, if you choose happiness, you're going to choose things that make you happy each and every time. You're going to choose to avoid certain situations. If you know that if you go to a certain bar at a certain time, you're going to run into the same crowd and you're going to get into a fight, Switch locations. Let's be bigger than the problem. Let's do something positive and do those incorporate positive things into our life. The visual seed. Okay, I'm gonna hold it back up again. A long-haired man with a pale-faced, heavy eyelids, a dull golden chain drapes over his forehead, around his body and through his body. A poisonous ivy grows and clings supplely to him. The sentence, what can't survive alone will seek company, but instead of growing together, they will wither together. And how many times have we heard the saying, misery loves company?
Mm-hmm.
When someone approaches you and they say, yeah, I've been watching you. Okay. That's when I go into questions. How were you watching me? Which ways were you watching me? Were you watching me online? Were you watching me while I was present? How come you just now coming to me now? You say you've been watching me for 5 months. That's kind of like a creep mode. Like, what's going on? Like, you trying to kill me? What's going on? Like, no, you can't come to my house. We will always meet in public until I can get that trust factor out of you. What's going on? And then you have to understand, and only because I went through this last year. Um, talk, 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 talk. I don't care if you got to make yourself think of something to say. It can be off the wall. Let's talk about Jigglypuff and Pikachu, okay? Which one were you as a kid? You know,
What?
do something random. And I do ask people random questions. They look at me and I'm like, no, I really want to know this. And they're like, yeah, I do. I know that you want to know this, but this is weird. Right. Because I got to keep you on your toes. I got to know where you coming from. I got to know if you are a master of the dark arts or a light, because I'm a child of the light. And trust me, any dark thing that you try to hide from me, I'm going to see it. But for those of you who have not gotten to that stage of life, ask, 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 ask away. If you got to do 40 questions every time y'all meet, baby, do them 40 questions because you want to know to the depth of what you're potentially getting yourself into. Because people can hide it so well. And to the point where if you have all these conversations and that person who is not interested in you but pretends like they're interested in you, it's gonna get to the point where that person's gonna be like, okay, yeah, I'm tired of asking all these questions. I'm tired. You know what? I'm just not gonna respond, and they're just gonna ghost you and let them ghost away.
Right,
Let
right.
them ghost
Because a
away.
mask
Let them
always,
go.
tell them that the mask always falls off. You can never keep a mask on forever.
Exactly. The mask is gonna come off. And this ain't Mask Singer. We not trying to guess what's under the mask. Baby, you wearing a mask. That's all I need to know. Because if you can't be upfront and real with me from the jump, then you don't need to be in my life. If and I tell people, if you feel like you have an inkling to lie to me, it's not meant to be. Because why hide? Why lie to someone that you're trying to be with? You're already Xing out the trust factor. Trust goes heavy in a relationship, goes
Mm-hmm.
heavy. Going dark. Relationships are not a zero sum game. Of course, using each other is part of the game, but it's quite different when use takes the shape of supporting rather than manipulating or exploiting. In the long run, a good relationship is a win win where the more I give, the more I get, and the other way around. Still, it's not always like this, isn't it? Not just in bad relationship. In short run, bad is bound to happen even in the house of true love. We cling, we bite, we hunger for safety and freedom and support. And on the other side, we get mangled, bitten, demanded, demanded on. Well, it happens. It happened, and it will happen again. It is part of the game. But if it happens too often, it creates a toxic environment. It doesn't matter if we are the victim or the perpetrator, as poisonous is shared equally. One gets the pain, another one gets the advantage. But the toxic part, they both get
Yay.
fully. A parasite, a leech, kills itself as much as it kills the host. It sacrifices the journey to the destination, and then the destination to its own failures. The problem is not living as sheeps, but the true problem is living as a sheep for 100 years. Meaning, don't continue like don't continue to have your wool cover your eyes for 100 years. And you continue to do that same thing over and over and over again. Bestie said that earlier as well. And so the thing is, when you're in a relationship and you're starting to notice clues, when you finally awaken to who's in front of you, and it's not what you like, you can pull away. You can disconnect. And for some people, they're like, oh, well, I gotta stay. No. And Bestie can tell you, I'm one that I will cut so fast, baby. Whoop.
Okay.
Like I have a friend and he used to call me a whore. He was like, oh, you a whore. And I'm like, no, I'm not. He was like, Brian, every time I see you, you're talking to somebody new. And it's like, you're right, because they exit themselves out. They show me something that I am not going to put up with. They show me something toxic that is so toxic they can't even stand the heat in their own kitchen. So why would you expect me to stand in your kitchen in all that heat when it's not mine to cook? It's not mine to consume. It's not mine to fix. Baby, if there's a fire happening at your house, I guarantee that the water from my sink can't put it out. It cannot.
Okay.
And so we have to, this is where when we talk about strong boundaries and encouraging yourself, when we're talking about empowering yourself, when we're talking about manifesting things for you, it is you and you alone. It is not you and the rest of the world. Because when you manifest for yourself and you get into that place where you are empowered, nothing. It's like, you remember how with Superman, when they would shoot him and the bullets would go ping, ping, ping. And as they're bouncing off, you look at the bullet and the bullet is squashed. That's how these energies should be to you. You should be so powerful that you, when you walk in the room, even if someone is inclined with their darkness to look your way and make an attempt, I'm going to use a word, the audacity, and I know somebody's going to be laughing, the audacity and the nerve and the gumption to come my way with all that mess on you, with all this light and armor. God, God be with you. So God be with you. Because the one thing is, that person sees that light in you and they're going to try to snipe it out. But it looks, at first, they really do get attracted to you, but they don't understand why they're attracted to you. They don't understand that there's a light about you, that there's a presence within you, that there's something about you that is really drawing them in. And then when they get to talking to you, and then they start to reflect on the things that you say, they start to see themselves and they start to see the ugly truths. And so what then happens is that now they want to start manipulating you so that you can be on their level, so that you're not no longer highlighting the darkness that's within. That's what dark individuals do. And when they do this, they try to manipulate you. And then that's when you have the gaslighting. So for those who gaslight, they will gaslight you and say, I never did that. And I have you about to lose your mind over their foolishness. About to have you lose your mind because they can't comprehend the darkness. They don't know how to handle the darkness. But it is not for you to handle. You pull away and live for another day. And so that was not all the cards. So I did want Spirit. I did have that question, but I want Spirit to kind of let us know, because I feel like there are some people that's going through this, and it's not just because of the planetary alignments. It's because there have been people assigned to you to destroy your happiness. And if you are in a relationship and you're wavering, if you're in a relationship and you're on the fence about it, that's a clear indication that that is not for you. Nine of Pentacles is the first thing that came out. But the thing that I'm getting about this Nine of Pentacles is that this is your current energy. No matter what your situation looks like, you are in this energy. And just like the lady is looking at, and I'm just going to call, I know they're pentacles, but looking at the fruit on the trees, that's how people see you. They're like, this person is so blessed and fruitful and prosperous. I want to be a part of that. I'm gonna take these three cards that came out, but I'm not gonna take these two, and only because they fell out forward. And the next card that came out is the Empress. Some of you are in your Empress energy. You are manifesting, you are creating some things, you are making some things happen in your life, and people on the outside of you are noticing it. Because why? You're in your Ace of Wands, you're in that full mode passion. And guess what? When you get in this mode right here, that's when the enemy wants to send you distractions to take you off your path. That's when the enemy wants to distract you from your goal. And he'll send all types of people, potential lovers, potential opportunities, um, old friends come back that you know, if you changed your way, if you no longer drinking, but all of a sudden your drinking buddy from 6 years ago all of a sudden calls you out of the blue. Hey, let's meet up. I ain't seen you in about 6 years. Let's go. We about to go out here. We about to do our thing. You know, they still doing the same thing from 6 years ago, and you have progress. Why go back? No, don't go back. And then the next thing is we have the King of Wands right behind the Ace of Wands, meaning not only are you focused, but you are mastering that thing that you are focused on. And it may not, you may even still be pulling all the pieces for whatever it is thing is that you're working on. But Spirit is saying right now, you are in this creative mode, creation, Empress energy. You are in this mode. So anytime somebody from the past, something comes up and they want to, you know, I heard sneaky boo. I don't know. I guess it was supposed to be sneaky link, but I heard sneaky boo. So if you got a little sneaky boo that's trying to come back around, no. The King of Cups is here. It flipped out, literally jumped out of the deck and flipped over. This is powerful because this was also in the spiritual progress report. The King of Cups and the Queen of Cups came out. So I just want to let you all know that. So the King of Cups is here. You have, not only are you mastering your craft and whatever it is, you are in your Zen mode. You see how peaceful he looks? That's what a lot of you are in right now. And so whenever these distractions come, they want to distract you. They want you to get out of your bubble. I almost wish that they had put the king and queen of wine or cups, excuse me, cups in a bubble. So because it's just like that's my peaceful bubble. And these people come in to destroy that bubble because they're jealous. And sometimes they don't even realize that they're jealous. They just know that they want to be around you. And when they get around you, they're just like, gosh, this person really is happy 24/7. What can I do to stop that? Like, why? Because that's the thing that drew you in. And when that person stops being um, who is the person that drew you in, now you have somebody else, and now you're ready to leave. Now you're ready to toss them to the side. And Spirit is like, that's why you got to stay focused to stay true to yourself. Two of Wands is here. When I said true to yourself, I guarantee when I picked up this card, I heard this is the physical representation of choose yourself each and every time. You see how she's holding that stick? You see how she has that globe and her traveling plans? She's like, I'm making a journey, even if I got to go by myself. And that's the energy you have to be in. Even when you're in a relationship, and let me say that again, even when you're in a relationship, if you can't do something by yourself, you are becoming dependent on that person, on your other half. And anytime that person, let's say, disagrees with you or is having a moment, it affects you thoroughly and it knocks you off your game. And again, what happens over there should not be affecting what's going on over here. There's no pipes. Um, in my STI, STD talk in classes, I would tell people, you know, oftentimes the guy would send their girl to go get an HIV, the STD test, and they won't take one because the concept is if you come back, and I'm gonna use the term, it's a negative terminology, but I'm gonna use the terminology that's often used. If my girl come back clean, then I'm all right. No, that is not true because what's happening to her body is not happening in yours. So if she gotta pee, you can't pee for her, and vice versa. She
That's
got to.
interesting. They really believe that if the woman is deemed clean or perfectly in shape or in good health, that they'll have
Mhm.
the same results basically.
Basically, and that's the misconception. That's why we have a lot of people walking around with diseases that they shouldn't have because they depended on their partner to have the clean slate, and then because the person that got tested, they're just like, well, how did I get this? I test frequently. Well, did you get your partner tested? No, they didn't test because they was expecting to share the
I
results.
got what you got. Soraya said, "I got what you got."
Exactly. I got what you got. Right. And that's far from the truth. Because and I tell people this, even when it comes to marriage situations, which I hate to say this, but I mean it does happen, right? We see this. What was the oh gosh, I'm now seeing the bits and clips of the Tyler Perry movie, where the young lady
Don't make
contracted
it married.
it's not that one, but it's where the young lady contracted HIV because she stepped out on her husband, and the man appeared to be, as they say,
Oh,
clean.
with Journey Smollett.
Yes, exactly. And then she came back HIV positive. She left her husband. She couldn't face him anymore,
Yeah,
and now, and hopefully, the young lady is still alive, but she's living with HIV, right?
yeah,
And the thing
yeah.
is, this happens to so many cases because of the appearance of they don't look sick. Right. And we also had to take that
Temptation.
stance. Yes, temptation. That's it. Thank
Thank you,
you.
Soraya.
And we also have to take that stance spiritually. We don't know what somebody else is carrying. So we just can't be all willy-nilly jumping in and out of bed with them. We can't be so
Mhm.
willing to give our connections and our hearts and our minds to them because we don't know what type of dark arts they're working in. There are truly some people out here working dark arts and will dress up looking like the sunshine and fresh dew on morning in the morning. Okay. They will come out,
Hello.
hi, how are you? And be so devilish inside. And that's the thing. But when you have that discernment and that discerning eye, you'll pick up on it. You will pick up on it. I promise you, you'll pick up on it. The next card that came out was the world card. Baby, you are in your world. I'm hearing Jennifer Hudson's It's Your World. I don't know if you've heard that song or not, but play it. I guarantee it's about it's about. I'm trying to tell you, but
It's a mom.
it's about. And I'm trying to tell you, you are in your world right now. The only thing that can penetrate your world is if you allow it to come in. That's what I'm getting with this world card. You have the capacity and the control to say to allow things to come in and for sure to push things out. And that is what let me see what's at the bottom of this deck. Mm-hmm. Five of Swords is here. This is the thing that you want to continue to push out. This right here, this headache energy. That is what that is. When you continue to push out everything that does not belong to you, you're like this. I'm in my own little world and it's happy here. It's happiness here. It's peace here. It's love here. But the minute you let that person into your domain, your dwelling, you see how that person is in the back? That person flies the coop. And guess what? You're left with the headache.
Mm-hmm.
You're left with the headache. And so we have to be very careful when it comes to people and understanding what the traumas is like. Like one of my questions is, what are you like when you're angry? What do you do when you get angry?
I love that.
Yeah,
That's
and
valid.
the first time I asked somebody this, they looked at me and was like, "Why would you ask me that?" And I said, "Because I need to know if we're ever out somewhere. If you're about to go off on someone, I think I need to know that. I need
Right.
to know what's a trigger for you, right? What
That's
are your
important.
triggers? Are there certain people that you shouldn't be around?" True story. Last year, and some people know I was dealing with someone. We went out and they told me, they was like, "Hey, this person's here, and I don't like this person." I watched them from across the room, and as I saw this person, the person that they didn't like was kind of facing this way, so they didn't even see this person coming. I walked around, stepped right in between. Nope, you don't need to go over there. Why are you trying to go over there? Why? Why are you trying to create a cause a scene for one? And why are you trying to be violent when nobody's being violent right now? I don't care what that person has done to you. If you can't drop it and allow karma to do karma's job,
Right.
baby, when you do something, now the karma is back on you. So
Facts.
whatever that person did to you, no matter how nasty it is, the minute you do it back, the minute you said, "Nope, I'm gonna handle this," baby, all of that is gonna come back to you. And then you're gonna get
Mm-hmm.
in a worse stance.
That's right.
Um, and so we have
Boomerang.
to be oh, go ahead.
I said boomerang effect. Karma is a boomerang, and it's the most patient boomerang you'll ever fling in the air. Because if it want to come back like that, it'll come back like that. If it ain't ready, it could take 10 years to come back and hit your ass in the back. Karma is
Exactly.
patient. It's a patient gangster.
Yes. And that is, I'm almost curious to see. Yup. I had a feeling. I kept saying I feel like it's gonna be a bottom of the deck reading. And sure enough, don't allow these people to come into your domain. Just stay focused and keep working. Eight of Pentacles is here.
Get your money,
Get
honey.
your money. Stay focused.
Get
Whether
your money.
and whether that is your job, whether that is a craft that you're doing, you starting your own business, whatever. Keep your mind focused on that. The right person will come in and say, "Oh, you're doing this? Well, let me introduce you to some investors. Maybe you can have a conversation with them."
Okay.
You coming with resources towards me, and you just met me. Oh, okay. And next thing you know, the reverse happens. That person needs something, you have it. And the next thing you know, you got a outstanding, awesome, amazing, fantabulous relationship. Yes, I said fantabulous. You got
That's a good
this
one.
money making mogul couple, and people are trying to figure out, how did y'all get y'all start? And it's because this person didn't come towards you with the handout. This person didn't come towards you with a bleeding heart, with mental traumas because of the last person that did them wrong, and now they're trying to pin it on you. No, this person is like, "Oh, I see what you're doing. Let me see how I can assist you, whether or not you have asked me for your help or not. And I see that you already have everything in place. Let me come with a resource for you.
Mm-hmm.
Let me, okay, I see you working a lot. Can I pull you away for at least 15 minutes so you can have your brain to rest, so that you can get back to doing what you're doing?" That's the type of people that you need in your life. The one that's going to make you sit down and rest when you need to rest. The one that is going to push you and encourage you even when you haven't said anything, only because they know you. That's why they always say check on your strong friends, because sometimes your strong friends have weak moments. And we
Yes.
often forget that. We often forget that. All of us are guilty. We often forget it. And but when you have a person in your life that see it, sometimes they could be far away. Hey, what's going on with you? I'm picking up something. Like you just fell across my mind, and I didn't like the feeling that came with it. What's going on? And you just like, you 3 states away. How the hell you know what's going on over here? I don't know. Like you just fell in my mind. Those are the type of people that you need in your circle. These are the type of
Mm-hmm.
people that when they sense that you need a refill, they come back and bloop,
Pour right into you.
no questions
Yep.
asked. The next is is tower moment, because guess what? When you stay in this mode, those people that used to give you a headache, you're now that tower moment because they don't have access to you. Because guess what? A tower sits up high. And when you're at the top of the tower, unless they have a key, they can't get in. They can even fly in a helicopter on the outside of this tower and still be on the outside looking in, trying to get to you. Baby, you can't come in here unless I give you permission. Keep following spirit. Spirit will guide you. I'm hearing the song Free Falling right now. Like, spirit really wants you to not only stay in the space that you're in, but trust that spirit will guide you and lead you in all areas of your life, even to the person. But keep moving. 6 of Swords. Keep moving in the direction that you're going, because you're going to new places. And then when you look up, when you find the true person, that true person is going to be the complete opposite of what you go for. So say that you're one that typically goes for, I'll just say like the thug, right? And all of a sudden you're just like, I'm just tired of all these thugs. And you finally wake up and go the opposite direction. And I was about to say something, but only a few of y'all would have got it. So I'm not gonna say it. But then you meet this businessman who is such, and I know I'm playing more so for the ladies finding the men type of deal, but fellas, for you too, or however you identify your person, like you're gonna find that person, right? And I'm gonna go back to the ladies. So, lady, this man is dresses up in a suit and he wear glasses, and at first you won't look at his weight till you caught him at the gym, and you see that when he's in his gym space, those glasses come off, and when he takes those button up shirts, he has muscles, and you just like, dang, he hiding all of that underneath all those clothes. Yes, and guess what? He's a gentleman with a job that comes with benefits and resources. And so, yes, sometimes he'll make a little corny joke here and there, but you can get past the corny joke if he's the one meant for you, right? If that's the one
Okay.
that spirit connects you with, because your paths didn't just cross just for any reason, right? And when you
Mm-hmm.
realize that he is your person, you allow that person to come in and love on you. You allow that person to come in and pour into you. And again, this is for anybody. This is for any watcher. You allow the people to come in, because remember, this is your circle. This is your bubble. You have to allow this to come in. So when something new and good is coming your way, allow it to come in. Otherwise, you're going to dismiss it and allow all the other stuff to come in, and it's going to knock you off your feet in the bad way, in the worst way. And that's my reading.
I love that. And it's so imperative to make sure that when you are matching or mixing energies, that you both are in alignment with each other. And I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
just kind of piggyback over what you said, Bestie, because if not, your person can potentially bring you down. And that's why it's rare you see like a
Mm-hmm.
king with a peasant or a queen with a servant. And that's not to say that that can't happen or they can't make things work. But when you have two people that are, that was a bad analogy. Okay, let me try something else. Because that works too. That works too. Because just because you're from a different sector of life doesn't make you unworthy of having someone who's higher on the pole. Um, let's say that you have someone who is steadfast, all right, someone who is in
Mhm.
their element, they're on their soul's path, and they're really headed towards the top. But you have someone who gets distracted easily, who is always looking back, can hardly stay focused. That's not going to work. So I'm saying all of this to say that you have to make sure that you guys are on the same vibrational alignment, because if not, then it's going to be hard for you guys to come together and build anything. And if you do build something, it's going to be built on a unstable foundation, because you both have different
Yep.
goals and different things that you uh, level in order as what's important. Okay, what's important to you may be good at a steady foundation. What's important to them may be um, bags and booze. I don't know. Just like, y'all get what I'm saying. Make sure that you guys are on the same vibrational frequency. The whole thing about them doing this for a living, that doesn't matter. Make
Mm-hmm.
sure their mind is on the same level as you. Okay? Make sure that they have the same intentions, and they are intentional about what they want to do. That's what I
Mm-hmm.
meant to say. So please disregard what I said before that, okay? Because it's totally okay if someone comes from, a different wealth bracket, okay? Maybe you're here and they're here, okay? As long as their mind is right, you guys can have a meeting of the minds. So, thank you. Because at first I kind of lost y'all. I was like, what the hell is she talking about? Okay, because so and so made it work with so and so. B made it work with Jay, but they were both millionaires, so that's really not a good analogy either. But I know plenty of people who made it work with people who are from different sectors
Mm-hmm.
of the scale. It's all in the mind. I want to say it's all in what you guys think is important. So thank you, B, for giving us that reading. And y'all already know what time it is. Y'all already know what time it is. It's Ask B. Okay, this is when we put tarot to the test, and you guys are able to ask me anything under the sun. This is your chance to throw any question out that you guys have been pondering or wondering about, and let the cards, he'll let the cards do all the talking. Okay, you can ask about love, past life, career, that weird dream that you had last night. Nothing is off limits. So this is your time to ask G, okay? And in the
Mm-hmm.
meantime, in between time, since we in the building like a window, we in there like swimwear. We're gonna use this time to thank you guys for being on with
Yes.
us, okay? We appreciate, we love, and we value you guys. We know that it's late, and a lot of you guys have to get up for work and for school, and just to get up, period. Like, to be a human being, okay? To be a mortal walking God's green earth. So we just thank you guys
Excuse
for
me.
taking the time out to squeeze us into your busy schedule. Um, so yeah, so that, and also, if you guys haven't already, please make sure that you are checking our stories out. Okay, that's the Healing Room Tarot, and also the page you guys are on now, because we give alerts and updates
Yes.
as to our availability and when we're open for readings. Okay, a lot of times you guys are reaching out to us and the readings are closed or it's no availability. That's because you guys were not checking our stories. Usually we put on our stories what our availability is. Okay, so you guys are able to come in and book. All right, so please make sure you are checking our stories to see the updated schedule as to what we have available, what times and what dates. Okay, so I just wanted to put that out there. Do you have any announcements, my love?
No
Um,
announcements except for I am free. I am free. I'm free. I'm free right now. So
okay.
definitely, if you would like a reading, um, please connect with me through my inbox. And if you're watching on YouTube, please follow me on Instagram. And the best way is to message me. Um, like so many other readers, I am not going to come to you about getting a reading um, and everything.
Yes.
So. please come to
Thank
me.
you for making that announcement. If anyone has been getting any DMs from the Healing Room Tarot, asking for a reading, that is not me, okay? Since we have started this platform, there's been a lot of people like duplicating and trying to, act as if they're us. So if you have any DMs from the Healing Room Tarot or from Love Anye, it's not us. We're not going to reach out and ask you if you want a reading, okay? We're telling you now that it's available by way
Right.
of our website or by clicking the files or
Excuse
just
me.
by DMing us, but we are not going to solicit you guys for readings, okay?
Yes.
Just a FYI, all right? So, but you ate with that card reading. You ate and left no crumbs, okay, baby? Like you really snapped on that one. Like you did your big one. That was a whole
Excuse
big
me.
move. So thank you for giving all of us the reading that we didn't even know we needed. Because I'm telling you, every time you read me my rights, I be taking mental notes like, oh, that must have been for me. I know it's a collective reading, but it almost felt personal. Like it felt like a personal reading. And I always say that before I do a read in the morning time, like get ready for a collective but almost personal reading because even though I'm reading for the collective, for whatever energies are on, it could be personal. So T Visionary Double O Seven
All
is
right.
asking, can you ask 3 questions? Baby, you can ask however many questions your heart desires, okay? Let it rip,
Let it rip.
okay?
I have a feeling that
Let it rip,
they're all going to be connected. But go ahead.
right? Let it rip, okay? Get your questions together.
I feel like the
We
genie
don't
in
want
the
to.
lamp now. You have 3 wishes. Be careful
Okay,
what you wish
right?
for.
All you need now is a purple costume.
Okay. Look, hold on. I do have a purple feather up here. Listen,
Oh my god, I cannot wish you.
I am a theater major for those who did not know. So yes, I am who's
Very
li-
theatrical,
very
okay?
theatrical. Whose line is it anyway? Okay.
I can't wish you. You are crazy. So yes, guys. So make sure that
Ooh.
you're very conscientious. And I've been hearing a lot of readers have had that issue with having people say that, hey, you reached out to me, but I wasn't available, or this, that, and the third. And it's like, we're not reaching out. We're not soliciting. We're not trying to, draw you guys in with any free readings. Like when we open our books, we tell you guys online, and we're telling you now, like, check our stories for availability. We're never going to initiate and ask you guys for a reading. So now we're just waiting for T Visionary 007 to drop his questions in the comments, and we'll give you your reading. Galaxy gang, gang, gang. I love y'all. We love y'all.
Exactly.
And how many episodes are we in while we're waiting? I think we're on 64. Can y'all
I was
believe
about to
this?
say 64. I want to.
We're at 64. Yeah, 64 will be next week. So this is 63.
Okay.
No, Love Spells was 63. So we're on 64. You're right, Bestie. Today marks 64. So we will dive into the blood spells on the next episode, which will mark 65.
Yeah.
Um, because we had a few people that reached out and said that they definitely wanted to get more information on blood spells, and so we will definitely talk and touch on that topic next week, blood spells. So if you have any questions, I suggest that you either hit Bestie or hit me, because I had a few people that had questions regarding blood spells, and his question is in the comments. Can you see it, Bestie?
I hold on. I had a flash.
I'm gonna pin it.
Oh. Okay. Hold on. I have to look at it this on my other phone.
Okay.
Um. How do I lift the curse off my bloodline? Oh. And what does it mean when I read? Says they see you. Staffing last but not least. Hold on. Oh, can you clarify what you mean by when they see you staffing, see you staffing. You would have to particularly ask that reader about the staffing question, only because we all use different words when we give a reading. Um, so I'm not for sure on that one. Um, because when I hear the word staffing, I immediately go to, you know, the workplace, you know. Um, that's the part. That's what I see. Like, do you? It's almost as if you have your own industry, so you're staffing people, like you're giving people jobs, um, and so maybe that's what they meant, like giving, giving opportunities to people, right? So definitely, if you can talk to that reader again, I would ask for clarification for that. But lifting the curse um, off your bloodline. Now that is a deep one. That is a deep one because you first have to understand what exactly is the curse. And then you have to understand if the curse was placed on your family by someone else, or if it was something that turned into a curse, like meaning one of your ancestors did something and it's a karmic, basically a karmic curse. um, so whenever you're talking about karmic curses, that can be lifted by breaking the habit. So say if um, I don't know. I'm picking. I'm not saying this is your family, but the example that's coming to me is, say if you come from a family and everybody in the family just talks entirely too much. They talk about stuff that should be kept in house, right? They talk about people on the streets and stuff, and then somebody comes back and they're like, oh, you got something to say, and you know how the streets are, as they say. You know, you run your mouth, you're gonna get punched in your mouth, right? And say you've had multiple family members to pass away because they were running their mouth. Well, to break that curse, you would say, as bad as I want to say something, I'm going to hold my tongue. And then people around you, your family members around you, start to notice, oh well, he don't say too much. And I know he got an opinion on this thing because we know that he's spoken on things before. So while your mouth is not being open and you're keeping closed, Spirit is guiding you to keep your mouth closed because you're training others around you that you don't have to always say what comes to mind. You don't have to always speak on those things. You could just say, oh, okay, well, mm, it is what it is. Let me go on about my business. And now you have broken the curse on your family, and then you can tell the people, stop talking about so many people. That's how Auntie so and so passed away. That's how cousin such and so has passed away. That's how great 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 granddaddy passed away, running his mouth. Like y'all told me the stories. When will y'all learn to keep your mouth closed? It's that type of thing. But the main part is to understand how the curse came to be, because that will determine how you can remove it. And see, even with curses and spells, you have to get to the root of the problem to understand how to unravel it. Uh, and I'm trying to remember your other question. Let me. How do I reconnect? Do you have as far as the ancestors and connecting with your ancestors, do you have an ancestors space in your home, like a table or a dedicated space, because that's the first step of connecting with your ancestors. And then also, of course, I keep this near. Um, they suggest that when you're trying to connect with your ancestors, that you have a white candle. And I have dedicated this candle solely for connecting with my ancestors. So I only burn this candle when I want a connection with them. And when you do that, um, also invest in ancestors' money. Bestie always talks about that a lot on this channel. Get you some ancestors' money to put that on the altar. Um, talk to you just like I'm talking to you right now. Talk to your ancestors. They listen. The thing about it, and I'm gonna try to figure out how I can put it on Instagram without them removing it. So I recently, in fact, today's the day they cut it off. But I recently rewatched the old show Dawson's Creek all the way through. That was one of my favorite shows.
No.
Yes. And it was on Hulu. That today is the day that they're removing it. But on the last episode, I think it's on this camera. On the last episode, Dawson said something, and I said, that is it. So whenever I get on this channel, whenever I talk about someone who's passed on, I always say, they're on the other side of life, right? That is what I say. They are on the other side of life because life still goes on. And so it was Joey and Dawson. They were sitting, and she said something about life and death. And he said, well, that's the thing. He was like, the opposite of death is not life, it's birth. He said, there is no opposite to life. And I said, wow. I said, that is true. Because when you birth something, it's becoming alive. When you kill someone, that is when death is present. So when you're talking about the opposite of life, there is no opposite of life. Life is continuous. Because when this earthly body dies, your spirit lives on. And we operate in this 3D world, not seeing the spiritual side of this world unless you have that gift and ability. So when you are trying to connect with your ancestors, they are very much present around you to speak, and they'll visit you in your dreams. Sometimes, and it, and it depends on if you have any of the clairs. I should say that. So sometimes for me, I'll have scents. I'll smell perfume or cologne randomly, or some, cooking food, and I'm walking around and nobody's cooking. So I'm like, okay, that's the ancestors letting you know that they're there. Another way, and I did this, and I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I had an ayahuasca. I went to an ayahuasca ceremony, and I was able to connect with my ancestors. However, comma, I also saw what they deem as the Queen Mother, and she is so beautiful. When I tell you, and the only other time I had heard this concept was when they were looking up artifacts on African DNA, and they were saying how, like, the first female, like, they're not saying that she's Eve, right? They're saying, but she's so old that we all get our DNA from her. Like, that's how connected we are, right? And I believe that that is the woman that I saw. To go back that far is amazing. And the thing is, you have to set your intentions. Even even when I burn this candle, I have to set my intentions that I want to talk to my ancestors. And I also say, I want to talk to you about, and I say what that thing is. Because with every intention, your ancestors will answer you in that way. I was trying to make sure I didn't miss anything else. But yeah, your ancestors were taught to you in so many different ways. But um, when you first start off, you may even dream, right? If you've ever dreamed about an ancestor, and this goes for anybody, if you ever dreamed about an ancestor, they are around you. They're letting you know, I'm here with you. I'm present. Um, I had a dream about my grandfather and uncle one time, and they were living together. And this is when my grandmother was still alive. Excuse me, on this side of life, I should say. And and he came out and he was like, "Yeah, we fine." He said, "Your uncle got a darn car on my porch, and I don't know why he fixing it." And sure enough, there was one of those old punch bugs on the porch, and I'm like, "Why would y'all two on this side of life decide to live with each other when y'all know y'all clashed? Like, make it make sense." Like, I'm like, "And who's cooking? Because grandma is not there to cook the biscuits." I said, "You know what? Y'all handle that. Y'all handle that."
Who making them biscuits in the morning? Because the day
Okay.
ain't y'all.
It's sure it's not neither one of y'all. So who y'all got in their house cooking the biscuits? Don't let me tell grandma. Right. So but and it's fun, and sometimes even if you're like, say you're going on about your day and all of a sudden you just randomly think about someone who's on the other side of life, then that's them saying, I'm here with you. Right? Some people see butterflies, some people see birds. So definitely make sure that you are aware of what's happening around you. What things are you keep seeing a lot of? And how does that relate to that person? Are you starting to see a number frequency more often? That's a way for, I mean, they say that your angels more so control that, but I also think that your ancestors do that too, to kind of say like, hey, we're still here. We're still watching over you. We're still connected. Because remember, just as much as you are bonded by the blood that runs through your veins, you're also connected by the spiritual side. Because we have to, when we reproduce, we also reproduce a spiritual side, a spiritual essence of us that comes from spirit, the ultimate source. And when the ultimate source says you can pass along more life, more spirit, do so. That's what happens.
I was gonna say that too. I was gonna build off of what you were saying, but you touched on it. Speaking about the ancestors and dreaming. If you're dreaming of someone, that definitely means that they're around you or they have a message to deliver
Mm-hmm.
to you. And 9 times out of 10, if what you dreamt was like a situation that happened, that's gonna happen. So it's your ancestors warning you that this is gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
So take heed to that and pay attention because they're always gonna come to you in like different creative ways. You know, like Bessie said, in a dream, or maybe you'll see an insect or an animal, okay, or you'll get an angel number. So make sure you are paying attention because from this moment on, like I have been saying in every live, nothing is a coincidence. So we hope that answered your questions, T, Visionary 007. And it's all right to ask more than one question. It's totally fine. This is your opportunity. This is the time where you have the floor. So if you have more than one question, please feel free. So we hope that answered your question. And thank you again, B. Like,
Yeah.
let me tell you, y'all don't know how dope Bestie is. Like, once again, you ate and left no crumbs. So, T Visionary 007, we hope that answered your question. And again, if you guys weren't able to ask your question, there's always next week. There's always next week. We open up
Mm-hmm.
the floor for you guys to be able to ask me anything under the sun. Every Cards and Conversations episode, at the end, we try to save the questions towards the end, just so we get the cards and conversations out of the way, and then we'll give you guys a chance. And even if you had a question about what we spoke about, because sometimes we don't give you guys time when we
Right.
segue into another topic. Sometimes I know I myself transition really fast. Like I'll be on to the next topic expeditiously. So sometimes I don't give you guys time when I segue into another segment. So please, if you guys have a question about what we spoke about, on the conversations or on the cards the bestie pulled, please, that can be a question that you guys ask. It's not limited to just questions about, what you guys have going on in your life. So please make sure you guys are asking any question under the sun. That's why I say it can be any question under the sun. So thank you, T Visionary 007. We appreciate you. This person has been faithful on almost every single live. So we thank you. And yes, it's that time when we are going to close out the show. And yes, we hate to do this because we know we can talk forever about everything astrology, because astrology is never ending. Like once you leap down that rabbit hole, it's really never ending. Like it just keeps going on and on and on. Like the rabbit. Oh, well, what was that rabbit that kept going on? Was it Duracell?
Oh yeah.
No, Energizer
Bunny. Energizer.
You can keep going and going and going. So we appreciate y'all for being okay with us limiting this show being only a couple hours. We could, make it longer because there's so much to talk about. Because the astrology umbrella is it's so broad. But we are going to close out the show. So we appreciate, love, and value everyone that was able to tap in. Of course, as always, we're going to upload it so you guys will be able to come back and watch it. If you need another spiritual download, we'll have that up on my page, Lavanye. And please remember, the cards do not dictate your fate. They simply illuminate your choices. So choose wisely, love deeply, and stay aligned. And until next time, on next week's episode on Cards and Conversations, stay blessed, stay hydrated, and stay aligned. And y'all stay dangerous. We'll see you next week on Cards and Conversations, where every episode unfolds a deck of intriguing discussions. We'll see you next week, guys. Love y'all.
Peace. Thank you all for tuning in. See you next time.